out to LDBC, man, Lions Den Basketball Community. Shout out to my brother Ticket and Mario, man. My brothers be working 24/7, grinding, making sure these videos drop and give y'all great content. Shout out to my brother Showtime Sports on Point, aka Showtime. Shout out to Mook, Rated all sports debates, man. Shout out to Kareem and Elder, the Kareem Report. And also, y'all want to check out some other content for Elder? Go to Beat 139. Y'all subscribe to Beat 139. Elder also drop contents on there. Man, Elder, aka Pastor Rufus, man. Shout out to all my other brothers, man. Old Head Podcast. Shout out to Greenleaf. Man, shout out to everybody else. Shout out to all my brothers, man. Too Raw for TV, LB. Man, shout out to them brothers, man. We finna cook. The Lakers, these last two games had two impressive wins. They beat the Dallas Mavericks and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Despite of the blunder lately of how they've been playing with their inconsistencies, with all their turmoil in that locker room as well, they pulled out two straight good victories against the Mavericks and the Thunder. So the question that I have for everybody: should the Lakers be taken seriously? Are they legit? Or are they basically showing they can play when they want to play? In my opinion on the matter, I believe that the Lakers could be a good team, but it's all about their mental. It's all about their best players giving it their all 24/7. If if Anthony Davis and LeBron James give it their all every game and just lead by example, I think the Lakers have an opportunity to be a solid team. Are they a championship team? Hell no. But they could be a solid team, and if people don't take it seriously, they'll hit them in the mouth and they'll beat them. Um, they got a lot of, despite of what they've been going through, the Lakers have a lot of good victories. Their wins are against top teams. They not just winning the easy games. They are beating good competition. So I think potentially the Lakers could be solid, but they still not a championship team. But I know they could be solid. Um, I don't know how everybody else feel. I know guys gonna say that a nigga capping because I'm taking up for the Lakers. Could it be some asshole shit behind it? Possibly. But at the end of the day, though, the Lakers are showing their ability that if they focus, if they play, they can beat anybody in the league. Probably except for Denver. They can't beat Denver though. They can beat everybody else, but they can't beat Denver. Um, but at the end of the day, guys can't get in their feelings because I don't sit up there and cap for the Clipper Nation. I don't sit up there and cap for Joel Embiid. I don't sit up there and cap for the fraudulent Celtics. It's only two teams in the league that get the benefit of the doubt, no matter what. It's the Denver Nuggets, and it's the Denver Nuggets and the Miami Heat. I know Mr. Man's gonna cook, so I'm glad he hopped up in here. But man, give me 1 second. I'm gonna get Mario to drop the link. And by the way, y'all don't get it twisted by this title. The Lakers are not a contender team. It's just that do we take this serious? Because they have beaten good teams, and they just won back-to-back games against the Thunder and the Mavericks. So give me 1 second, y'all. Mario should be dropping the link any moment, Mr. Man. But yeah, I don't want guys to think that I'm just capping for the Lakers. I'm not. I don't believe they winning the championship at all. But are these guys are these guys showing the capability of beating the good teams in the Western Conference? And these last two games, maybe you could say that. They have beaten good teams all year. They beaten the Clippers twice. They beaten the Suns 3 times, even though they got their ass whooped that fourth game. Uh, End of the day, though, maybe they can. They just can't fuck with the Nuggets, though. I do know that. They can't mess with the Nuggets. Let me text Mario again so he can drop this link. Yeah, man. Oh, he just dropped the link. All right, Mario, man should be backstage.
Yeah, I'm here, bro.
What's good, bro, man? What's your thoughts, man? Can the Lakers be a solid team? Should they be taken seriously?
No,
Or
no.
this is just a fraudulent shit that they beat the Thunder and the Mavericks back to back games.
I mean, it's par for the course. I mean, they won 2 games. Whoop de do. I mean, they're back to 21-21. They're basically mediocre 500 basketball. And so, I mean, this is going to happen during the course of a season. I mean, I don't take them seriously. So they win the in-season tournament. They're everything in a bag of chips. Then they go on a terrible slide. They need to trade everybody and fire the coach. Now all of a sudden they win 2 games versus Dallas and OKC, and Darvin Ham knows how to coach, and guys are cool. I mean, this is what you get with a LeBron James led team, bro. Ups and downs, roller coasters, freakish, behavior, hot, cold moments. It's pathetic. So no, I mean they're 21-21. They're mediocre. We can praise them for their 2 last wins and say they played good basketball. Okay, cool. I mean it's 82 games during the season. I mean there's going to be stretches where you win 2, 3 games in a row, and you're going to beat some good teams along the way. But to take them seriously, absolutely not, bro. Hell no, of course not. I
And and I and I can't blame you for that, but here's something I'm gonna come back at you with. Most of the Lakers' victories this year have been against some of the top teams in the NBA. So what's your thoughts about that? That they putting up a lot of their wins against the top teams in the league, even though they showing mediocrity, even though they've been up and down this whole season.
hmm And even though they beat some good teams, the question is, can they beat those good teams 4 games out of 7 when it matters the most? I mean, if I catch you like on a Tuesday night off a back to back or during the season, you know, and I get you, okay, that's cool. I mean, we'll assess it. But a 7 game series where I can scheme for you and take away what you do best, and then you have to scheme for me. These good teams, no. I mean, they can't beat the Clippers, Dallas, Denver, or I think Minnesota in a 7 game series. So yeah. I don't take them serious, man.
I
I
think they
don't.
could. I think they could beat Dallas, but they damn sure not beat the Denver. The Clippers, I don't know because there's something about the Clippers that I can't trust about them. So it's kind of 50-50 with that series. I kind of wouldn't know. I had to see like the first couple of games, 5 of the first 3 games in that series to gauge that. But cause the
Oh, I
Clippers,
totally understand why you say that about the Clippers. I mean, I'm right there with you. I mean, I don't trust PG or James Harden in those moments. But I think they're good enough still to beat the Lakers in a 7 game series. I don't trust Clippers versus a team like Denver, but the Lakers, like, I don't trust AD and LeBron James, and I don't trust your role players. So even if PG and Harden have some bad games in between, I think the Lakers are going to have bad games in between, and I think Kawhi Leonard can do enough along with the other guys to get it done. But I mean, yeah, I don't trust the Lakers, man. I don't trust AD. I don't trust LeBron James. They don't defend well. They're decent at their rim with AD. But no, I mean, they won 2 games. I mean, whoop you fucking do. I
but what's
mean,
your thoughts about D'Lo? Actually, been looking good these last couple of games. That they finally got him back in rotation and finally not bullshitting with his play. How you think he been looking in your opinion?
I think he's been looking pretty good, to be honest with you. His individual play has been above average. He's shooting the ball better. And that's why I've always said, like, no trades are needed. Like, they have enough to get it done. Just go figure it out. And so I think D'Lo's been good, as of late, and so I mean that just shows you the hypocrisy of these Laker fans. One week, D'Lo needs to be traded, he can't do nothing, and then it's funny how when he plays well, like he's been playing, you know, the the Laker fans, are they're not giving him his credit. Let me tell you, man, like the grass ain't always greener on the other side. And so you trade away some of these guys and bring in new talent. It doesn't guarantee that those guys are going to be a better fit. That's why I'm in the mindset of you keep this group together and you just take your chances. Because in the offseason, Herm, all we heard was the Lakers had the best offseason. They won
They
the off
deeper, they more
yeah,
athletic.
all those things. And
Yep.
now all of a sudden, they don't have enough help. Their role players aren't good enough. Well, that's not what y'all was saying 4 or 5 months ago. And so, yeah, I think D'Lo's been very good as of late. Very good.
Do you think though, deep down, because I just got a feeling that the Lakers are trying to showcase him so they can get a big trade somehow, to get somebody to buy into wanting D'Angelo Russell? Do you think that's the case, or they
Well, I
just
mean,
playing him because they
showcase him.
have to?
Showcase him. I mean, he's showcasing himself. I mean, he's the one playing and putting the ball in the basket at a much much higher clip. So, I mean, they can play him, but it doesn't guarantee he plays well. Um, Yeah, I mean, do I still think he gets moved? Possibly, yeah. Is it a mistake in my eyes? Yeah, because you're gonna have to move him along with somebody else to bring in another star free agent. And to me, it's all about fit. Like sometimes, like personnel on these teams, it's not like don't always give me the better player. Like give me the player who's a better fit for what I got going on here. And I'm in a mindset of bringing in a third star, if it's a Zach Levine or whoever it is, that's not the best fit for the Lakers. The Lakers need a guy who just fits with the Lakers, not necessarily who's the best player. Because one thing's for sure, and I was listening to a podcast with Kendall Gill last night, and he said it best: when you play with LeBron James, your whole game has to change. And so I don't know why people think because you see Zach Levine dropping 25, you see this guy dropping 30. It doesn't mean they're going to give you 25 on the Lakers. That
Nope.
25 is going to dip down to like maybe 17 or 18 shooting corner threes. And so, yeah. But to answer your question, yeah, I mean, D'Lo's playing great. His value right now is at an all-time high because of his play. So if they're going to move him, now's the time to do it. It's all about what package goes out and what package comes back in. So we'll see.
Because to be honest though, they could look back. They could look like one of the better teams in the league if they stay packed, let Rury come back, and let everything come back together. They could be. They probably could be taken seriously if they stay packed. But we know 9 times out of 10 because they done created all this drama for something. The
Mhm.
Lakers will make a big move eventually, and we gonna have to re analyze how good the team going to be again because they doing these damn trades every goddamn trade deadline. Um, I'm,
True.
I'm like you. I'm not making a big deal out those back-to-back wins against the Thunder and the Mavericks. Whoop-de-doo. Shit happens in the course of a regular season. Uh, but the reason I brought it up because I wanted to see how far these fans gonna cap. But I think a lot of these LeBron fans, the Laker fans, I think they so tapped out. I think they so tapped out. They say fuck it and shit. Somebody send me a damn dollar cash out saying that a nigga a hater.
They said send you $1. That's fucked up.
Oh man, they say the nigga a hater. It gotta be one of the Clipper fans. Man, look, man, look.
The Clippers fan.
At end of the day, man, y'all Clipper fans, some of the most delusional fans out there, man. And I'm disappointed in my brother Showtime supporting, letting y'all say the dumb shit y'all say and get away with it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all supposed to take one game at a time, humble yourself, and analyze game by game. Don't sit up there talk about the damn future. But then you get your ass kicked. Now you want to blame a damn coach because players can't get it done. Man, I'm sick of y'all. I'm tired of y'all. I hate y'all more than Laker fans now. I could deal with a LeBron fan, but I could deal with y'all right now, to be honest.
It's that Thomas guy, bro, who I can't stand. I can't stand that. This dude, he think he thinks Terrence Mann is like the MVP, and Terrence Mann is like the end all be all. Um, yeah, that shit's crazy. Um, I don't understand the Rui thing. They bring him in last year. He plays cool, and then
He
this
played
year,
good in the postseason,
yeah,
actually.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I thought he played good as well. This season, his minutes have been up and down, but when he plays, he doesn't look bad. Like, I mean, he's a good player. And so he's a perfect example of the blame game. So you bring him in, he plays well. And then when he plays well, Laker fans go, well, he's supposed to do that. He doesn't get his credit. But then this season, in limited minutes, now he's trash. He can't play defense. He can't score. It's like there's always a fucking excuse. And I don't understand why he's not getting more minutes, along with Christian Woods as well. Like you said, they have enough to get it done. Um, I see FYF sports debates down in the
Salute,
comment.
Lamont. Salute.
I think the Lakers personally have enough to get it done. No team is built perfectly. There's going to be holes. There's going to be things that teams need to work on. I mean, if you got two great players and a good mixture of old and young players, then what's your excuse? Like, just go figure it out. Like, this narrative that everything has to line up and everything has to match and your team must be balanced. No, it doesn't. I mean, the reason why you're great, LeBron and AD, is because you can take a team who's not balanced and still get it done. That's why great players are paid max dollars. And so, this is crazy. Some dude named JP in the comment section says this guy's voice is fucking annoying. We'll bring your fucking dumbass on the panel, maybe.
Hey, bet Lamont, give me one
What
second. I'm gonna
the fuck?
tell Mario to let you in.
That's
But yeah,
crazy.
JP, man, you a hoe, man. Don't sit up there and
Right.
say that
Yeah.
shit
JP.
because he ain't kissing ass like you want him to.
Yeah. Nah. Yeah. I don't kiss ass, bro. Come on, man. This motherfucker worry about my voice and not what I'm saying. Like, that's a female tendency, bro. What do you mean like? Come on, bro. You a man first, right? Come on, bro. Stop it.
Yeah, Lamont, I just let Mario know to let you in, so he should be letting you in
Yeah,
any
but
moment
I
now.
think that, but I think they have enough to get it done. I think
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
they
I,
get it
I,
done.
I do too, man. I
Need to
think
get
they
more
should
focused
stay
on.
the I think they should stay the course and not make any
Yeah.
moves because I like how D'Lo been playing, and I think when Rui gets back healthy, I think he'd be right back in the mix. But end of the day, we know that's not going to happen, man. And end of the day, it's all on the two best players. It's all on AD and LeBron to lead by example and to play with focus each and every game. If they do that, that would just be the turning point that the Lakers need alone because they bring in the positive energy. They stay in
Right.
the course of being focused. So, end of the day, that's what we should. That's what everybody should be looking for if you're a Laker fan. Can those two just lead by example and be consistent in that way? Because if they consistent, if they playing with a lot of effort, and the day that's gonna galvanize the troops eventually, and
Hmm.
uh, and that's
I
what they
agree.
gotta hope for.
I I agree with that. And I want to be clear when I say this. I think most of the teams that we deem to contend, Phoenix, Boston, the Clippers, I'm gonna throw LA in there just because they're the Lakers. You know, maybe Milwaukee, which I don't, I mean, maybe Milwaukee. I mean, they all have enough to get it done. And so I'm not asking none of these teams to make trades. Figure this shit out. Why is it when teams go through losing streaks or a bad stretch, the first thing they want to do is trade half the goddamn roster and not blame their star players? You know what I'm saying? I mean, so yeah. I mean, do there need to be tweaks and little things here and there differently done with rotations and of course, I mean, that's on every team. But why is it that every time a fucking team goes through a little fucking bad patch, you got to trade half the fucking roster and shit? Like, this is crazy. I mean, just 2 years ago, Boston had a horrible. first 30 games. And in January, they had a team meeting, and then they turned that motherfucker around and got to the finals. They lost to the Warriors, but they still got there. And so, yeah, I mean, I don't believe in trading your team and trading guys away. Like, you got AD and LeBron James and a host of good fucking rotational players. Like, come on, man. Like, figure this shit out. Like, this is crazy. So that's just my
I,
thoughts, man.
I agree. I agree, man. I think Lamar's still backstage. I
Nah,
probably
I'm
got to.
I'm up now. Y'all hear me?
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I hear you, brother, man.
love
What's
him.
your thought? What's your thoughts on
Look,
everything with the Lakers, man? Do you think the Lakers on the up and up, or do you think they still got to show a lot more?
look. Here's the thing. And I think all both of y'all agree. Basketball, especially at the NBA level, at the beginning of the year before a game is even played, it's easy to tell the good teams from the bad. Like it's not complex. And like when the season first started, everybody had the Lakers predicted as probably one of the top 10 teams in the NBA. And I don't think that's changed. I agree with Mr. Moss is this team, when you watch the film, they have so many problems that are self-inflicted that can be fixed by them making changes, and it doesn't require personnel changes.
Hmm.
And we saw how they played when they got motivated for the in-season tournament. That looked like a high-level defense that was going to be trouble for everybody. Um, I believe that some of the younger guys, and this can corrupt the locker room, got fed into the trade noise, whether it was true or false. Because, obviously with social media just being as big as it is, and with media pundits like Brian Windhorst and everybody constantly talking about trade and Zach LaVine, I mean, of course, it's just natural for some of the guys to just start worrying about, okay, where they might be playing next if these trade rumors are true. But when you see this flip like this, and you see a flip in energy from D'Lo, and you see Vanderbilt all of a sudden gets re-energized, I believe that Brian and AD might have just sat down with the team and said, "Look, we rolling with you guys. This is what we rolling with. Don't feed into it." And you see these guys hit on a whole nother cylinder. And this is the same guys. Like the way this team defended Dallas previously versus the way they defended Luka and Kyrie last night, it's night and day. When they let Dante Exum drop 7 threes on them, which then yesterday they hold Kyrie, who's been one of the hottest players in the league, to 12 points. When you have the ability to do that, like that's you have to sit back as a front office and say, we we got something good. And just like Mr. Moss said, maybe there's a few tweaks, but I'm not really tinkering around with too much when you got a defense that can defend like that. Now, they made a few tweaks to the offense. I think Brian made a good point. He took a little accountability. He said, look, I've been dribbling the ball to the end of the shot clock, not giving us really a true opportunity to score. What have they done over the last 2 games? They've been really working to get the shot up within the first 10 seconds of the shot clock. And it's completely changed the ball movement and the dynamic of the offense. Now you got D'Lo going off. Reeves is more efficient. Guys on the bench is hitting double figures in 15, 19 minutes. So everything's much more efficient now, and they just made a few tweaks. So we got to keep consistency with it. I think they can keep it up. I still think they need to add some catch and shoot shooters, which might cost them Hood Schifino or Max Christie. But I'm not really like I'm not gonna give up Rui's size. He's a matchup nightmare, especially when you go into the playoffs. I'm not giving up Reeves. He has literally one of the best contracts in the NBA for a starter, for a guy that can start, average 15 points per game, and you got him locked up for around 12 million for the next 3 years. That's a steal, really. So you don't give contracts up and players up like that to start to formulate your core. So I'm not chasing some unknown like Murray or Zach LaVine. Maybe look to the buyout market if something appears there. I think their biggest need is a center, a starting quality center or a backup quality center, something a little bit better than Jackson Hayes. So I believe Jackson Hayes and Gabe Vincent might be the 2 pieces that they look to trade to try to go get something. that can help them in the backcourt and with AD. But outside of that, I'm not tinkering with this. It's not. I don't. You got Brown and AD still. Like that's the hell of a starting point.
Yeah,
You know?
I totally agree with your assessment. I got to push back on one thing you said, but for the most part, we both agree on some of the same things.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm gonna push back on two things.
Yeah.
The first thing is I don't think AD and LeBron James sat down and says, "You guys are here." I don't think LeBron James, in my opinion, I don't think those two guys dictate that at this point. I think if the Lakers want to make moves, they just gonna make moves. It just is what it is at this point. So I don't think AD and LeBron James did that whatsoever because that's not even what they do. That's not been their track record. We know that's not what LeBron James does.
Brown did it after the game yesterday.
He's not. Listen, he did what, Lamont?
He that's what he said. He said,
I don't care what he said, bro. LeBron James say all kind of shit, and me and you both. Hold on, Lamont. Me and you both know that we can't trust that guy. Come on, man. Seriously. Listen, in my opinion, I think what he said was fool's gold. And so if he said it, cool. But he's made too many outlandish statements for me to take him seriously about something he said in the media. So I don't believe that shit. Secondly, we agree on the D'Lo thing. I think D'Lo has been great. I think you made a great point saying better shots early in the shot clock. Whereas LeBron's dribbling the basketball, here's a hot potato, do your thing. That's not fair to role players, right? Like let these guys cook. Like these guys can play basketball. And it's just crazy to me that LeBron James finally in this year of 21 seasons, he now understands, like, I can't dribble the ball for damn near 18 seconds. Like, duh. Like, let your teammates play basketball. And then you mentioned Vando. Yeah, I think the less he plays, the better. The less he plays, the better they are. And that's just my opinion, bro. That's just my opinion. But overall, though, everything else you said, we agree on. Just small tweaks, little things here and there. I think Darvin Ham can hit. I think his rotation can be better with certain guys. I'm glad you brought out Rui with his size because in the postseason, when the game slows down and it becomes a half court game, his size and other teams' inability to guard him at that position is going to be key. I mean, we saw it last year versus Memphis and the Warriors at times, and so we totally agree on that. And so, but yeah, just little tweaks, man. I mean, I think they should stay put. I think they should move forward with what they got. You know, you mentioned the buyout market. I totally agree on that. You mentioned some spot up shooters. Well, Torian Prince is shooting damn near 40% from 3-point line this year. So he shoots it well, right? And so, I mean, listen, with the right offense and the right sets, they can get good open threes. They just have to knock them down. I mean, it is a make or miss league, so it is what it is. But I mean, I'm not going to push back on too much you said because you made some great points. We just disagree on that LeBron James and AD saying, you know, they sat down and guys are here. Like, I don't buy that nonsense for 1 second. That's just me, though. That's just me.
And look, even if it wasn't Brian or AD, I believe some voice in that leadership role did it because, even Darvin Ham came out and said that he told D'Lo, like, basically, we trust you. You're the guy that we're going to be moving forward with. And it's just like something sparked because there was about a 3-week period where he was just playing dead, like he was unmotivated, even to the point where I said, you need to bench him because that just looks like a lack of effort. But then the switch flipped. And when you see that switch flip, and now you see not only the switch flip, but the team is putting the ball in his hands and basically saying, look, we to trust your decisions with this ball. We're going to let you work off the pick and roll. We're going to let you decide when to take these shots. That tells me right there that something happened in the locker room, whether it was from the coaching level or from the players, where they said, let's allow D'Lo to be D'Lo. And it's having a trickle down effect on some of the other guys. So we see Vando is a guy that, look, he has his struggles offensively, but because I'm a defensive guy, it's just hard to see too many players come in and defend the way he does. The way he was all over Kyrie yesterday and the way he can pick up point guards and pick them up full court and pester them, I'm gonna find a way to utilize them offensively, whether it's 4 or 5 cuts, whether you're in the dunker spot, or I'm gonna find a way. And I think yesterday they did a good job of having them cut to the middle, hitting them in the middle of the lane, allowing them to get fouled, get to the free throw line, and you still utilizing them on in the offensive end, so teams aren't just completely sagging off, making it hard on AD.
Let me push back on something you just said again, because again,
Yeah.
we're just dialoguing back and forth, and this is how people should talk basketball. He goes, I go, and we make great points. So I appreciate it.
That's a fact.
Lamont, yesterday, I'm gonna give Kyrie a pass. He came down on his tailbone with LeBron James collide against him, and he was never the same after that. He moved differently. He looked slower. He was one step behind, and so I'm not going to give Vandal credit for hawking down a last night a limited player who obviously was gimpy. I don't see the same defensive intensity from Vandal that you see. I see a guy who is tall and lengthy and at times can affect certain players' jump shots, but just his on ball defense, his awareness, his defensive acumen, his technique, to me, it's not bad. It's not great. Um, but he's not the defensive player that you make him out to seem, in my opinion. He's not bad, but he's not great. I mean, he's just a good defensive guy, on an NBA team. He's nothing special. You know what I'm saying? I mean, because you said that he hawked down, guards 90 feet and all this stuff. Well, he been getting his ass kicked the whole season. Literally. I mean, he ain't stopped nobody from doing what they want to do on the basketball court. And so all that hawking,
I don't know about
You
that.
gotta be kind of fair, man, because he has been injured
kind of
himself,
fair.
and he's still not 100% right now.
Well,
So
I
Listen,
mean,
man.
I thought in one of the if let's take away Kyrie.
Uh-huh.
If you just go to the game before when the way he defended Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, one of the hottest players in the league. I mean, you hold him to under 50% shooting for the game. I think you held the man under his scoring average. You kind of made him inefficient. He only shot 1 of 6 from the 3-point line, and when you can do that to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, I mean,
Yeah, Shay.
again, it's just to me, it's just like when I have a defender like that where I know I don't have to put AD, my best defender. I don't have to worry about AD primarily defending this man when he gets to the rim.
Okay.
I think that's something that in today's game, man, people take for granted
No,
because
I don't
they
take it for
want to
granted
see
as
these
well.
guys be great offensively.
No. Listen, well, Lamont, I mean, again, me and you agree. And listen, you mentioned Shea, which is a great example because what's the first thing I said when I was talking about Vando? I said he affects jump shots for some guys on occasions. So you saw in the OKC game, his size and length towards Shea, it was a factor. It was a factor. I'm not gonna dispute that, but I feel like um, he's gonna have some games where he just plays that way and it looks good and he looks like he's one of those guys defensively. But consistently, I haven't seen it. We can point out some games where he did what you're saying he did, which I agree on. But he's been killed and abused two more often than not for my liking. And we can point to some games like the OKC game and last night for it versus injured Kyrie, where, okay, the length played a factor. And then real quick before you go, I know you don't like me talking about the offense when it comes in because you're a defensive guy, but the game is played two ways. And we know that offense is a major piece of the puzzle. And so I don't think Vando is that elite enough on defense where you put him out there and say, you know what, he's so elite defensively, we'll figure out the offense. No, I think his lack of offense is a major reason why you can't play the guy because his defense ain't like top 10 or elite. He's good. And so that's why I say that. The less you play him, the better you are, in my opinion. In my opinion. Because guess what? I would rather play Christian Woods, who can stretch you out and give you some offense, and then defensively, just hope and pray that your guards and your wings shade the guys to the paint and let Christian and AD at the rim do what they do or contest shots. I'm okay with that. But I'm not going to a playoff series a month versus some of these Minnesota, Denver, the Clippers, Phoenix, and you got Vando out there who is not no lockdown defensive player. And then on offense, he's literally a liability offensively, right? Because if you put him in a ducker spot, he's clogging the paint up. If you stretch him out on the 3-point line,
Mhm.
now guys are now guys are pinching down low, sagging down low off him, making the passing lanes and the cuts that much tighter. So he shrinks the court, you know what I'm saying? Tremendously. And so that's why I say that unless you play him,
But
and we've
I
seen
haven't
this,
been seeing him.
we've seen this, bro. We've
Hey,
seen this.
but
Unless you play
man,
him, the better
I haven't
they
been
look.
seeing that. I
Just
haven't
saying.
been seeing that.
now, my man, it's the way that a coach can still scheme because we seen with other great defenders in the past, like a Tony Allen. He was like a liability offensively, but
Not the
Memphis
way this
made a
guy is,
way to
man.
make it work.
Not the way this guy is. He's not. He wasn't. He just wasn't. You can't name me no
Okay,
elite. You can't name me no elite defensive players, Lamont or Herman. And my bad, Lamont, because I'm sure my bad. I know you probably have something to say, but just real quick, you guys can't name me no elite defensive players who we look at on that level, the way Lamont does, and say that they were the offensive liability that this guy was. Who? I mean, maybe one guy, Roberson. I think Andre Roberson for OKC is the closest thing to it. But other than that, all those guys who we deem defensive,
Sabalosa too. Sabalosa was for
yeah, but
OKC as well.
hold on. But Cephaloshes for OKC and the Bulls can shoot threes. I mean, at some point he was a 3-point corner shooter. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, he led the
He
league in
was
3-point shooting.
inconsistent as hell at
But he
OKC.
led the league in corner 3-point shooting at one point, Herm. I mean, Vando ain't never doing that.
Tony Allen was a liability offensively.
Not the way Vando was. Not the way Vando was. And guess what? Tony Allen was much way more defensively sounded than Vando ever was. Ever
That's
was.
true too. Now
I
I
don't
agree
know,
with that.
man. I'm telling you.
What you
I
mean you
mean,
don't know, Lamont? You think
because the
Tony Allen
problem is like,
wasn't?
so I've been telling people this about the Lakers. I said the only thing I can do is I can watch the film and I just tell people what I'm seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And when I rewatch this film, like I have no motivation to just give Vandy this extra credit, right? Just like when Herm saw my videos when I was killing the Laker defense, right?
Yeah.
But when I see these major improvements and when I see the players that's responsible for the major improvements, I said the number one thing that they need is they need somebody that's going to go actively be a pest on contesting 3-point shots. That's been their biggest weakness. I said it from the start of the season before ESPN starts saying it, before anybody else starts saying it. I said this team is going to struggle defending the 3-point line. For whatever reason, they don't have much effort there and they start getting torched by everybody from the 3-point line. But when you got a guy in Vando who is going to just commit to saying, look, I trust AD as far as the rim protection. I'm going to be the guy out there that's going to actively defend without fouling. And that's what's been so hard in this league, being able to defend shooters without fouling
That's a good point.
because the rules are just favoring. I feel bad for some of these guys having to contest shots because shooters can literally do anything they want. And if you sneeze on them, refs is blowing the whistle. So when I see a guy that can defend without fouling, and then help and particularly jump shooters, because those jump shots generally tend to be long rebounds, which for the Lakers, we saw with Bron just off rebounds, it sparks transition.
Agree.
So getting jump shooters for the Lakers to miss shots is more valuable because you have a guy like Bron who's still a train when he gets the ball off the rebound, especially long rebounds. And we saw how that helped the Lakers just yesterday because a Dallas Maverick team that generally relied on transition, it's like the roles reversed because they were able to force a lot of missed shots. I think at one point in time, they were almost 5 of 30 from the 3-point line because those long rebounds was going to the Lakers. And it's jump starting a ton of transition points. So I think his value is how he can, because I think that's his value offensively, how he can contest shots and start the break just off long misses. And we saw that yesterday, and that's why they won that game. So I see the guy, man. It's just hard to defend the way he does, man. And you don't get credit for it.
Okay, well, I mean, you make some good points, but then you know me, I'm looking at it from a technical standpoint. So a lot of those threes that teams miss between OKC and Dallas, we're gonna give the Lakers length some credit or him some credit. Other than that, teams, I mean, it's a make or miss league. But before the Lakers won these last 2 games, Lamont, the Lakers have lost their last 10 out of 13 games, if I'm not mistaken. 9 out of 13, something like that, right? And so where was Vondo's defense in those games? Like they were down double digits early in the first. Hold on, they were down double digits early in the first quarter. Every game it seemed like they were giving up open threes, right? And so I mean, you mentioned 3-point shooting, but how much is it? Is it him, or are teams just missing shots? And I know it's a coincidence that teams miss shots because it's a measureless league. But where was this defense in pestering? Because he's been back in the lab for some time now. Like
Hmm.
if I'm not mistaken, he played during that stretch where they were losing all those games, and they lost to some teams that they probably shouldn't have lost to. And so, where was this defense that you speak of then? So we're taking 2 games and saying he played well, and then we're just going to dismiss his defensive, whatever you want to call it, the previous 15 games where they lost 9 out of like their last 13 games. Like, talk about that part of it.
Well, I think that over the last 2 games, the biggest change is Darvin Ham has basically said, look, we're just going to put our 3 best 3-point shooters in the starting lineup, which is going to be Reeves, D'Lo, and Prince. We're
Mhm,
going to space the floor early, and over the course of the last 2 games, they've gotten off to much better starts, and they haven't been chasing from behind because
mhm,
they said, look, we're going to start the game off with our best shooters, right? And then we're going to let Bron and AD go to work early, but not just let them go to work early. Our shooters are going to get off early. And then when you have the lead, then you come in with your defense. While your offensive guys are getting a rest, just like we saw in the OKC and the Dallas game, your defenders can come in, still be pesty. And then the bonus that you get out of your defensive players, because you have a more pass first oriented style of offense where you're getting up quicker shots and guys are flashing and cutting to the rim, you're getting bonuses out of these guys. I think the 7 points that you got out of Vandal last night was a bonus, right? Also, the fouls that he was drawing alone apply pressure. Even if he goes 1 or 2 from the free throw line, these fouls start to stack up and start to apply pressure in and of themselves. So I just think the Darvin Ham said, look, we're going to go with our best offensive guys in the starting lineup, and then we're going to bring our defensive guys in to carry us the way through. And that strategy is actually panned out because they've come out in the third quarter in these last 2 games with a bigger burst. And
mhm.
defensively, the guys are coming in holding it down.
So where was Vondo versus Phoenix Suns? Was he pestering and putting up Booker and
No,
Leo 90 feet?
no, but Vandy. So
Because he picked up
I
Shea and Kyrie,
so
and
so
so
my
I
thing
think
is
Booker and
my,
and,
my,
and,
my
and
thing is
Leo.
defense.
Uh-huh.
Defense, especially in today's game,
Yeah.
is I don't care if you have the defensive player of the year. If your team scheme isn't great, and if everybody's not playing with high energy, even
Hmm.
the best defensive player can look trash in today's game if your team scheme isn't right. And so I think one thing I noticed is that everybody's just playing with a better energy, including, like, if you just look at D'Lo's defense the last 2 games, I've never seen him chase harder over screens, which is before I criticized those guys for going under too much, allowing threes. So they're being more consistent in some of the things that they're supposed to be doing, and they're doing it a little harder. I'm watching D'Lo go after a ton of loose balls, something that the film showed weeks ago he wasn't doing. So they're
Hmm.
getting more to 50-50 balls. They're just playing harder. And that's why I said the Lakers had some of the most fixable problems because a lot of their problems were just self-inflicted. It had nothing to do with lack of skill or lack of talent. It was mostly just lack of effort.
Well,
And
me and
they,
you both agree on that part because I feel like their roster is good enough with a mixture of young players, old players, veteran players to where they have enough to get it done. Quick question: how much of these teams struggling shooting the basketball? OKC shot it poorly last night. Dallas shot it bad. How much of it is the Lakers defense, which I'm gonna give some credit to them, but how much is it just they just miss shots? And this is a make or miss
oh,
league. And no. Well, I mean, I'm asking. I mean, I think
no,
I
no,
think it's
no.
a good
I'm saying
question.
just then you know what? That's a good question. You just got to watch the games, and so when I see, especially this game against Dallas, again, a
Uh huh.
team that thrives from the 3-point line.
Right.
Look at these guys contesting. Look at these guys running out. They're running through shooters. Right? That means they're contesting with all. This is a strategy that the Miami Heat utilize. And then what happens is they scramble to recover if there's a pass. They just plan harder. And they're saying, look, AD, we trust you to defend without fouling if these guys start getting to the rim. Because a lot of these games that the Lakers lost, if you just turn a lot of those threes just in the layups, Lakers win. You just have to stop these
Well, I'm
teams
not
from
sure.
raining down threes, and they're contesting, and it starts to wane over the course of an entire game, if the team struggles to make threes early because you're contesting hard, it just starts to wear on you. And the
Yeah, I'm
Lakers
not
do a good
sure.
job of wearing on teams.
I'm not sure that they shoot twos, they win. I think it gives them a better chance at winning, but it doesn't guarantee a win. You just said something that most NBA fans probably didn't understand what you said, and I caught it. And kudos to you just for even saying this. You run through shooters. You don't run at them and jump at them. And that's my pet peeve in the NBA. A guy's open for a 3-point shot. In today's era, guys are literally jumping at them like they're going to block their shot. And I just sidestep you, move to the side, and now I'm open for a wide open 3-point shot.
Yeah.
You talking about the Miami Heat and Greg Popovich used to get on Danny Green for doing this all the time. You don't jump at him. You run at him with your feet on the ground still, and you run him off the 3-point line. And so I'm going to go back and watch these two games highlights and see if that's what they were doing, because I've never known the Lakers perimeter guys to do what you just said, running at 3-point shooters. And so if they're doing that, then goddamn, I mean, something must have happened behind the scenes, because that's just not what they do. I mean, they usually jump at them like fucking bunny rabbits, and then I
Yeah.
just sidestep and open three. But in my eyes, listen, OKC Dallas didn't shoot it well. I'm gonna give the Lakers their credit, but it's not all on them. I mean, it's a make or miss league. I mean, these guys are still. I mean, these guys can still shoot the basketball at a very high clip, and so I'm not gonna poo-poo the Lakers defense, but I just listen. They won 2 games, man. Okay, I still don't trust them. I don't trust that they can keep this up consistently and run this offense and keep up this defensive intensity that you speak of consistently. And here's my last point. If you think somebody in the organization, if it wasn't LeBron or AD or Ham, whatever, told D'Lo that you're my guy, I trust you, blah, blah, blah. So you're predicting that D'Lo's going to be there then throughout the full season. Then you're predicting that he's not going to get traded in your eyes.
Yeah, and I think the reason why he's not going to get traded is not because, I think it's more so because of the business side that's kicking in.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at D'Lo, and then when you look at if you look at your options out there, I don't think there's any option out there where you can honestly say it's worth giving up multiple pieces of our core to go get that. And with the Lakers, everybody, like if you just want to start the conversation of talking about one of their good players, everybody's going to start with, we need Reeves. That's the starting point. If you want to throw D'Lo in as salary filler, or so now to get one of these other players that seems intriguing, you have to consider giving up 2 starting quality players, and you have to ask yourself, is that worth it?
It's not.
And it's not to me. It's just, I just don't see it. I never saw the Zach LaVine as realistic, not with his nasty contract. And when I saw DeJounte Murray, I mean, it sounds good, but when you start to think about what it's going to require to get him, it don't sound as good. On top of the fact that, I mean, hasn't really proven much himself, and he can also go on some disappearing acts on his own as well.
His lack of shooting the long ball for me is a major issue in the Lakers offense.
Yeah, so I mean,
like LeBron James are cooking.
Man, that's great dialogue too, y'all. That's how we talk basketball, man.
Oh, for sure.
Great dialogue.
So I mean, when you look at the market, when I look at what's out there, like this is when I was on Players Choice and people laughed at me, I said they should, if it's possible, and I know it'll be tough, you got to be looking at a player like OG Anunoby. Obviously, the Raptors weren't never going to get finessed. They were always going to get max value for him. So I knew it was kind of out of the realm of possibility. So I mean, right now, if I'm the Lakers, I'm looking at, and I know this is not flashy names.
I said Gary Trent Jr. would be nice for them.
Gary Trent Jr. would be good, but I'm going for the less flashy names.
And I'm
trying to fill holes. Nope, I'm going for a center that's unsigned right now. Bismack Biyombo. I mean, again, it sounds kind of like non-impactful, but when you talk about a guy that's going to collect every rebound,
I like that move. I
mean, he ain't getting every rebound, but I mean,
the problem with the Lakers is
if
if you watch the film, where they've struggled is with the offensive rebounds is because teams have been occupying AD out of the pick and roll. AD did a hell of a job of contesting to force the miss, but because he's the only guy that's like a significant nose for these rebounds, he's the only like, unless you have a guy like Woods in there who has a similar inkling to go get these rebounds, they've been struggling on the offensive glass just because they don't have that true guy with a nose for the ball when AD goes out and helps on these pick and rolls. And so when you sometimes every now and then, if you can have that guy that you can rely on who's a vet, who's not going to make too many mistakes and he's just going to do his job. I trust him over Jackson Hayes. Jackson Hayes right now is just a foul machine and a turnover machine. And he's just
But
a low IQ player.
I agree with that, Lamont, and that's a great assessment. But I'm hesitant to put any non-shooter, non-stretch big alongside AD on offense. That's just me. I
No,
mean,
you're right.
I
You're
think
right.
Christian Woods to me, and listen, if I can tell Darvin Ham, I'd be like, Darvin, why are you not playing Christian more minutes? Like, I don't understand this, but Christian can at least stretch you out, and the defense has to respect his shooting ability and his offensive package enough to where they're not going to take away or shrink the floor and let AD and LeBron James have lanes to drive and collapse and do what they do. Bismack, whatever the hell his fucking name is, or a center who is non-shooting, who's just offensively fucking just not good. I don't want that guy next to AD. I don't. And so maybe that works in certain situations during a series. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, but I don't want that. And so
Well,
that's just me.
my thing is, I'm trying to take the approach of, I understand the market in the NBA right now. Guys who can shoot the basketball are expensive. Do you no longer, there used to be a time, especially when LeBron was having a lot of his success, where you can get these guys for the cheap. You can no longer get these guys for the cheap. And so when you understand that, you just have to fix whatever problems that you can. Shooting is just too difficult to solve right now because it's going to be too expensive to get those guys. And you might be able to better address that problem in the offseason when you have all of your draft picks up for trade if you want to use those. But as it stands right now, unless you're really in the buyout market and you might be able to go get a Gordon Hayward or something, it's probably just going to be too difficult to chase like real size and shooting like the Kelly Olynyk's and things like that. And the way Utah's playing, they're not letting Olynyk go for cheap. The way Utah's playing, if you want Olynyk, you better come with a hell of an offer.
Yeah, Kelly Olynyk is actually a great name. And but and I understand that those type of bigs are hard to come by. And somebody in the chat, was saying we act like stretch bigs is no. Trust me, a stretch big in today's league is fucking just amazing. If you have that, it opens up so much fucking more for your team. A Clay Olynyk, a Daniel Tice, you know what I'm saying, guys like that. No, trust me, like I want motherfuckers on my team. But here's my point though. I know you mentioned Bismack, but if you ain't got to get him, then don't make a move and get a guy like that just to do it, because I'm looking long term. I'm looking at Denver, I'm looking at Phoenix, and I'm looking at the Clippers and Minnesota at this point. And I'm saying the moves you make now, how is that going to impact a 7-game series versus those teams? And I don't see Bismack, what the fuck his last name is, Obama, or whatever his name is. I don't see him. What up, Matt? I don't see him being a factor or an impactful player in those series. And so don't make a move just to make it. Like if the Lakers choose to make a move, Herman Lamont, it needs to be something that they say later on down the line versus these teams, I can utilize this move, because the goal is a championship. It's not, the goal isn't just to be a roster spot because we can make a move. And a lot of teams do that.
Well, it don't cost you nothing to get Biombo. That's the beauty of the Biombo
Yes,
move.
it does. It costs you a roster spot, Lamont.
No, but the thing is, if you're just giving them I mean, you can give them a 10-day and try it out, and then let them
Okay,
go.
that's fair.
Like,
Okay,
so what
that's
I'm
fair.
saying is, you can tinker because he's a free agent. There's some, like, you could even tinker with a Boogie Cousins if you wanted to. I mean, the thing is, go tinker with the and I think that's where they're going to try some things. I think they're going to look to the, surprisingly enough, and people might think this is crazy. I think they might give a guy like Lance Stevenson, who's back in the G League, a shot, who's playing
But how is a
crazy
10-day
basketball.
contract going to dictate what he's going to do in the postseason versus those
Well,
teams?
a 10-day is more
I mean,
valuable.
come on.
Well, 10 days are more valuable based on seeing those guys in practice. So a lot of times guys will have a 10-day and won't play in the actual game.
If you sign 10 days, then that's the same for the rest of the season. I get it. But we're talking about postseason. The game slows up. A team is going to scheme for you, Lamont, and take away your best attributes in a 7-game series. I don't think Bismack on the Lakers next to AD is moving any type of needle at that point.
No, it's similar to
a roster spot.
I mean, he was playing tough and playing hard for the Grizzlies. He wasn't producing for his numbers, but he was doing a lot of the
He's
small
an
things.
undersized big. He's
a smart, but it's IQ. That's what you want. His IQ is high.
A lot of guys have high IQ, man. Can you put that ball in the fucking basket and can you rebound in a congested paint versus hold on. Can you rebound versus Zubac? Can you rebound versus
yes, he can rebound versus Zubac.
Yeah, for sure. No, he can't.
Yeah, he can.
Rebound versus now listen, if you said Nurkic, then you got me there.
He did get a lot of rebounds against the Clippers when we beat the Clippers.
He's soft as shit. But
he was with the Grizzlies.
Bismack?
No.
Bismack was getting a lot of rebounds against the Clippers.
I said that he will out rebound Nurkic because he's soft in Phoenix. But
he out rebounded Zubac.
Man, in a 7-game series, listen, man. He has to do that for 4 out of 7 games, arguably. Okay, I'm looking long term in a series. Can he move the needle? And the question is, hell no. You need a stretch big next to AD. Point, period, blank. You need a stretch big. Now, if this was a team like a different team with different personnel, then I might be on board with it. But you have AD and LeBron James who need spacing. They need driving lanes. AD needs to do what he needs to do down low. So you can't have no Bismack on the court with no AD and LeBron James. Come on, man. Like that doesn't even make sense, Lamar, in a high-pressure postseason game. Come on, man.
I mean, the thing is, we're not talking about leaving him out there for 40 minutes. We're talking about a guy that you can interchange with guys like Christian Wood, and you can interchange your size, and you got a whole bunch of bodies that can come in there and add a level and start to fill in some of the cracks and holes that this team has. And offensive rebounding is just one of those things. And, and that takes IQ. I mean, if you're going off right now, they have to go after realistic pieces. And it's just, when you look at the names out there, it's just one of the more realistic approaches you can have. Is it going to solve all your problems? Is it the greatest move? Are you bringing in a 3-and-D guy? No, but you're bringing in a high IQ guy that can bang bodies, that can go get offensive rebounds. It's not going to be a crazy liability for 15 minutes.
I never looked at Bismack as a high IQ. I mean, why is that being toted? High IQ when he's never been looked at as that type of player. I mean, he's just good rotational, because if his IQ is high, that means that we gotta say every other big man's IQ is high in the league.
So here's some of Bismack numbers from this year, right? When he got minutes with Memphis, right?
Okay.
Against the Clippers. When he got minutes, he played over 30 minutes. 13 points, 12 rebounds, 2 blocks and a steal. But then they play Miami. When they play Miami, 9 points, 10 rebounds, 1 block, 1 steal. They play Utah. He had 15 points, 15 rebounds, 1 steal. They play, obviously, it's just Portland, 8 points, 11 rebounds. And that's when he got starting minutes, because obviously they had a lot of injuries. When you got a guy that can just come in right off the bench and produce to that degree, I mean, that's production to me. 15-15 versus Utah is solid. 13-12 versus the Clippers, that's solid to me.
Well, okay. Well, this season in 23 minutes a game, 0.9, so we'll say 24 minutes a game, he's averaging 5 and 6 in 24 minutes a game.
No, but what we got to consider is that when he started the season, he was just brought in as a big that was only going to play if there were injuries. So you have to look at his numbers and look at the games where he comes in and he gives 30 minutes when he gives.
Well,
When
what
you
team
look at
was
the
he on this year? Memphis to start the season, right? Was it Memphis?
Yeah,
yeah,
it was Memphis. It was us. That's
Okay.
what I'm
So
telling you,
Steven
man.
Adams.
He can rebound now.
So Steven Adams was hurt. So the Grizzlies started the homeboy, right? What's his name? The dude from
they had the white dude starting.
We
right.
had our foreigner start at
So
first.
if this dude is high IQ and he's everything you say he is, then why didn't the Memphis coach start him over that
Well, because
European?
obviously they have their rotation of guys that they go with. Bismack is the free agent that they brought in, but they have the two other. I forget their names. Herm might remember them. They got two white guys that they like to go with at those spots, and when they play the small ball big. But when they asked Bismack to come in and give over 30 minutes,
Uh-huh.
he was solid, especially defensively and on the glass.
Listen,
Especially
man,
if you look at offensive rebounds.
he
I mean, he's
plays
had
hard.
some games like when he played Utah, he had
Yeah.
9 offensive rebounds.
Okay,
That's
listen.
that's that's 9 second chance points.
No, listen. He plays hard. He's a high energy guy. He's a guy who always has to play a little extra hard because of who he is and what his skill set is. I get it. All I'm saying is this: all that is fine and dandy on a different roster. On the Lakers, for what they're trying to do and what they need, because remember, it's about fit.
They need a
In my
backup
opinion,
center bad.
they need a backup center, but
They
okay.
need a center that can come in
I
and defend
mean,
and rebound.
who else they gonna get, man? So they too much out now.
Well, I
That's what I'm
mean,
saying.
who's your backup center right now, Lamont?
Jackson Hayes.
You can't play Christian at that spot no more, or
No,
no?
because so the way they utilize Christian Woods is much different than how they utilize a guy like Bismack Biyombo. So
Mm-hmm.
Christian Wood is definitely a floor spacer. He's definitely really good at rebounding and defending, but I
Yeah.
mean, there's only so much you can ask of him. So if you can split his duties with another, kind of like how the Lakers did in 2020 when they split JaVale McGee's
Well,
minutes with Dwight Howard, they didn't
yeah.
rely on one of those guys to do all of the work, but they split the duty between the two and combined those two provided the necessary backup big man for the Lakers.
Okay, man. I mean, listen. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. You're articulating very well. You're articulating very well your case for him. I push back on it. He's a good, energized player, but for me, I just okay. I mean, I don't think he's that guy for this team, but okay.
But but
Um,
but he's the only player on the market where you can bring him in and he fills a hole and it doesn't cost you anything.
does he?
Or-
Does he? Does he solve their biggest um hole on their team? Is the Lakers' biggest hole what he's going to bring a backup center, or would you value more shooting or more
Well, more
perimeter?
shooting is probably like obviously
Okay.
get some more catches. That's the biggest issue. But the problem is
Mm.
that is going to cost you. So if you go out and chase
It
shooting,
costs
you're
money. Yeah,
going
we
to
know that.
give up something. You're going to give up something.
Well, I mean, they got pieces that they can work with.
I know,
Shooting ain't got to be no big name player
but
because you were on the player's choice a few months ago, and actually, I thought you made a great point. You were mentioned. I guess the question was GMs and how you would build teams. Remember that
mhm.
debate you had, and you brought up guys' names who don't get minutes, who don't play well. I'm sorry, who don't play, but are good shooters, right? In your eyes, and so they can go get shooters, right? That you speak of, who ain't considered big names.
Yeah, man. Look, like I
You
think
know,
like when I mentioned Corey Kispert, I'm
there
saying
you go.
if you can entice Washington to give up Corey Kispert, and let's say they swap him for a guy like Max Christie.
Mm-hmm.
If you can swap young player for young player, I like that. But if you have to start cracking into your core and you have to give up guys like Rui, or you have to give
That's
up
fair.
guys like, I'm not doing that.
Oh no, we
So
agree on that part. No. Listen, we totally agree on that. Um,
you know,
there's a guy in Boston, Hauser. He plays a little bit off the bench for the Celtics. Great shooter. His name has been brought up not for the Lakers, but just in general. I don't think Boston's going to move him because he provides elite spacing. He's a great shooter. A guy like that, right? Young
yeah.
player, small contract. You can get him, but because teams know a team like the Lakers can use him, they may ask for a little extra to get him that he's not worth. But because the Lakers can use him mightily with their shooting and he defends good enough to where he's not a liability on defense, you know what I'm saying? Because usually guys like Luke Kennard and guys like that who can shoot the basketball, they're a major drop off defensively, right? but he kind of holds his own and he has good size on him. And so he's a guy that comes to mind. But like you said, to get that guy, they're going to ask for something, and it may be too much.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, this trade deadline is gonna be fool's gold for a lot of teams. That
I
I
agree
think.
with that. I can't stay on too long, Lamont, but just
Yeah.
real quick, Herm, if you don't mind, Herm.
All right, go ahead, go ahead.
I'm going to the game tonight. Pacers and Kings. The Kings have just been fucking pathetic. Something's going on there. I'll find out more tonight when I talk to Matt behind the scenes a little bit. But the Pacers are here in town tonight playing the Kings. Obviously, they traded away, some picks and Bruce Brown. I haven't even read the reports yet, but I'm not even sure if Pascal's playing tonight. I know Tyrese is not playing. He's on the road trip, but he's not playing. What's your thoughts, Lamont, on Pascal Siakam? I think he's a good player. He does some good things. I think his name is talked about in certain ways I don't agree with, as far as like being that guy. But he's a good player. You know what I'm saying? Not great, but good. What's your thoughts on that?
I think he's the perfect player for this Pacer team, and I think that Pacers understand we're not a very desirable team to come to as free agents, and so they kind of have to force their way into the mix by really trading for these guys, and then just maybe slightly overpaying them to just keep them, because that's what it's going to come down to. But I think when you look at what they're missing, they were really only missing a power forward, and when you put that next to Miles Turner, you still have the shooting in Buddy Hield, who they've held on to.
Yeah, Matthew's still there. I mean, they got young talent there.
The fact that they didn't have to give up Benedict in that trade.
Yeah, dude, that was huge right there. That was huge.
I said, wow. I said, all you gave up was Jordan. Basically, you swap Bruce Brown in the starting lineup with Siakam, and you give up Jordan Noir, a good young player.
Well, I mean,
I think might be a guy the Lakers need to go after. But
I mean, they gave him 3 first-round picks, and so
yeah, they
do you
did.
think he signs with the Pacers offseason?
Oh yeah, the Lakers. I mean, not the Lakers. The Pacers definitely said we're going to give you the full max. I promise you.
But okay, that's fine. But do you think he signs?
Yes, because he even said to Toronto, he basically told Toronto to tell teams I'm not signing, because he knew that there's a lot of teams out there that's probably not gonna give him the full max. He really wanted Toronto to give him the full max.
Yeah.
But
well, that he told Sacramento, don't trade for me because I'm not going to be signed there.
But they said they were saying on an Indiana thing, they said he's like best friends with Tyrese Halliburton.
Who, Pascal?
Yeah, Siakam.
Oh, I mean, I didn't know that part, but I mean,
I didn't know that either. And they said they like best friends.
Okay, that's cool.
Should that play the whole part into it? Then that's why
that might have sold it.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think a Tyrese and Pascal can win the East anytime soon unless Boston, Milwaukee, or Philly gets hurt, along the way. But they will compete. They will scare some teams. It'll be a long series.
I don't know, man.
You have to beat that team. Tyrese don't turn the ball over. And so, I mean, hold on. You said you don't know. So you see the Pacers possibly beating Philly, Boston,
I'm telling you, man. Like I wasn't a believer in the Pacers for a long time.
Milwaukee for sure, but Boston and Philly and Miami.
I think they can. I think they can catch. I don't know, bro. They're players from their youth and the way they play. When your best player is extremely low turnover, like that's the one thing about Tyrese Halliburton that's really excelled him over a lot of guards, is he can go 10 games and not turn the ball over, which is wild.
Yeah, he has his moments too, though, where
he has his moments. But I mean, he's butting it. Like I think the one thing that we forget about these teams and players is that they all are still getting better as this, not just as the season goes. Benedict is turning into a really good player. You got Halliburton. You got, man.
What's impressive is that they play at a pace that is just out this world, and he doesn't turn the ball over at a high clip at that pace. And that's what's so impressive in terms of Tyrese. There was a stretch there where he was having some high turnover games, but if you look at his turnovers, they're not live ball turnovers for the most part. Teams got to reset and then take the ball out of bounds and then go. And so I can live with that, you know what I'm saying? And I understand what he's trying to do in the moment, so I don't fault him for doing that. What makes him great, what makes a good point guard great is passing comes with risk. And so sometimes I see what he's trying to do, right? He's got that quarterback type thing, Lamont, where he's trying to throw guys open, if that makes sense, if you follow me. And so
Yeah.
I get it. But when you say, I mean, I gotta see Pascal. Listen, I gotta see Pascal in the offense. I gotta see his movements. I gotta see how Miles Turner, because that means that Miles Turner is going to be again on that 3-point line, stretching you out, and I don't like him out there. I just don't, you know. And then what? So it's going to be a pick and roll between Pascal and Tyrese. I mean, okay. I mean, that's cool, but I gotta see it. So that's just me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like I said, all of it has to work on the court. It all looks good on paper
Right.
until you see it. So,
And I'm surprised that the Pacers haven't, or I mean, there's still time left, but you think that they're going to come off of Buddy Hield? Because again,
I don't.
I think he's a shooter, right? We talked about shooting, but again, I mean, if you get Buddy Hield, then you're definitely giving something up. You think they keep him?
I think only because I believe that they're pushing to really try to compete and win. I think the
Okay.
days of them really just trying to be middle of the pack is over with. This trade tells me right there they moving into the next echelon of competition. They not. I don't. They're buyers. They're not sellers.
I think they gonna be active players in the buyout market as well, though. So I won't be surprised they be active in the buyout market and make certain moves there.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
But we know they not winning the damn East though. But for us, regarding to the future
I
though, I
wouldn't
think
say
they could
that.
be.
I wouldn't say that. I'm telling you, I wouldn't. I
I think
wouldn't
they
Yeah,
could
say
beat
that just yet.
Milwaukee. I
that.
think they could
Yeah.
beat the Bucks though. I
Yeah,
think they
they can
can have a
definitely
chance to
beat.
beat the
They
Bucks.
can definitely beat that fucking non-offensive, no defensive playing ass Thunder.
I
That's
think
for
they can beat
sure.
anybody.
That's for sure. The Bucks, I don't trust. Yeah, for sure, I don't trust those motherfuckers.
But I think Miami coming at the East anyway though. I think they
I think
coming back
Boston
in.
will win the East.
I like Miami. Shit, they replaced their role players that they lost with their rookie Jacquez. Jacquez better than Vincent and Strus. They really Miami really better than what they was last year. Honestly,
Hey, Lamont. There's a guy here in SAC that the Lakers can use, but to get him, like you said, is going to
Kevin
take.
Herter.
Yeah, it's Kevin Herter because in case y'all didn't know, Kevin is inside of Mike Brown's doghouse. He started, I think, last game for the first time in a long time
I
versus
went off
yourself.
the.
But yeah, Kevin's been kind of limited in some of his role, less minutes, and he hasn't shot the ball well. He shot it well a few games ago,
If you can, yeah,
but he's a guy who really is he would be the perfect fit for the Lakers if they can get a guy like that.
I
what
mean, and
about
what's his
old boy
contract
from
looking like? What's he
Detroit?
making? What's his
What
contract?
about old boy from Detroit though, Bogdan?
I gotta look and see at that. I'm not sure what his contract is.
Because I remember Atlanta paid him.
They paid him, yeah. But I do know that he's not in good graces right now.
I mean,
It's getting better, but something happened behind the scenes with him. And
if you can put Gabe Vincent's contract with maybe one of your young players like Hood Schifino or Max Christie, that I think if the Lakers can pull that off and you get a Kevin Herter, you looking
right,
nice.
because
But you have to finesse, and you might give up that 29 first round draft pick too.
oh, for sure, yeah. And the Kings would play Max Christie a lot of minutes because I mean, he's a guy who you can lead play right now. But yeah, so Kevin Herter's name is floating around, so I assume that there's going to be a team, that's contending that can use him. And so,
Bro, as quick as his release is, him playing with Bron and them, that
yeah,
could get ugly. That can get ugly.
well, it can. And then defensively, he's not great. He's not the worst guy defensively. He can hold his own enough. I mean, you saw him in that game seven versus the Sixers, where he went off for like 29 points in the game 7 on the road for the Hawks with Trey. I mean, he was the reason why they won game 7.
Yeah.
If people don't remember that,
Yeah,
but
because
he's a good player, man.
Ben Simmons locked up Trae Young that game.
Yeah, but Trey Young had a good fourth quarter though down the stretch.
Yeah.
But no, Come on, Lamont, bro. Come on, it's me, bro. Come on, man. Like, you know, keep work on me, man.
You know, I got to throw the Ben Simmons promo in there.
Come on, man. Come on, man. I mean, there's not too many guys who
Oh, yeah. How y'all
stop
feel
picking on
about Ben Simmons? Is he going to get moved, and can he help a
Ben
contender team if he
Simmons.
get moved to a contender team?
No, he's the worst contract in NBA history, man.
I agree with that. No. He's second. He's second. He's second. He's second.
I agree, though. I agree
Who's
with
the
He's
first? Who you
second.
got as the first? Who?
Well, no, I think he's third. Second would probably be that dude from Miami, the left hand shooter who's missing a tooth, the white boy. He's gone now though. Johnson, what's his name? Nick Johnson or damn it.
Yeah, the Johnson guy.
What's his
The
first name?
guard, the white
Yes,
guard.
the
Yeah,
guard. Yes,
Tyler.
yes, him. And then the first one is
Chandler.
Parsons for my Rockets. Nah, because he had knee surgery. Nah, I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
that. Evan Turner from the Blazers.
Oh yeah, I'll give you Evan. Oh no,
Am I
the
right, bro?
Blazers. No, the Blazers also got old boy, the other dude
Who?
on the Blazers.
Who?
Man, what was his name? They ended up trading him to the Nets.
To the Nets. He was a big man.
He was a guard, light skinned, soft dude. I don't know what the hell they was thinking.
Sebastian.
Nope.
Okay.
He's out the league now. He was young too, bro. That was
Okay. Yeah, I think
I'm gonna
Evan
remember his
Turner-
name, but the Blazers got a couple of them worst contracts. They some idiots.
Evan
Man.
Turner got like 90. I'm like, what is
They
going
paid
on?
him.
And
He retired. He retired early
biggest
off the Blazers.
Yeah, Chandler Parsons was played good for my Rockets, and then Memphis gave him that big deal, or Dallas did, and then he had the knee surgery, and he was done. I was like, that's crazy.
Oh damn! Hey, yeah, my phone about to die. I gotta hop up out
it's
of
all
here.
good, man. Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
out too.
yeah,
But
yeah.
good conversation.
Man, it's
Bro.
I
all
just
good, man.
realized.
It was great dialogue, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I had to listen to y'all. That was great cooking right there, man.
Thanks,
Hey,
bro.
man, yeah, hey, y'all hit that like, buddy. Y'all hit that subscribe, man. Shout out to Mr. Myers and shout out to FYL Sports, man, for coming in cooking with your boy, man. Y'all hit that like, y'all hit that subscribe, man. Salute y'all, and I'm out.